Are we live? Yep, looks like we're live. Wow, this is crazy. Okay. Oh man, I never thought I'd be doing this, but here we are. As you could tell, I am that one Carlos, and this is going to be my first live stream, both on YouTube and on Twitch. And I hope you guys like it. So, a bit about myself, I guess. I am a big nerd, and I guess I'm very opinionated, and I kind of want to get my ideas out there. I'm an ideas man. I always think of, like, at least in my mind, golden ideas, and I want to just put it out there and let people know and get feedback and just have a nice discussion and see what kind of creative things we could come up with in the end. And that's why I called it my custom comic chat. Not only that, I also like alliteration, so CCCC. So for this first episode, I had the idea of changing Avengers Infinity War and Endgame because I believe that they have some flaws and some shortcomings. Not to rip on the MCU, its directors, its writers. I mean no kind of disrespect to any of them because they put in countless time and effort into making nerds' dreams come true on the silver screen. So just not a rip on them, just my own opinion. And if you think any different, I am open to having my mind changed and updating this in the future if I think I'm wrong. So yeah, like I said, this is Avengers Infinity War and Endgame flaws and my fixes to it. You're gonna notice that Infinity War has a lot less flaws than Endgame. I just have one key complaint, and yeah, so let me actually remove this and add in this. So I'm a big DC guy, and I think that I hope that's not too biased for some folk, but and of course Marvel has been around for much longer, about 5 or so years, because the DCEU started with Man of Steel back in 2013, but we had Iron Man all the way back in 2008. So MCU has a bit of a leg up, and it sets a lot more precedent for what people perceive as the perfect comic book movie, stuff like that. And what I see is that all of the endeavors within the MCU have been like a pyramid, building it from the bottom all the way to the top, putting the baseline structure down and building up to this one pinnacle. But what happens is that once you reach that pinnacle, in this case, it's the Infinity Saga, there's nowhere else to go. There literally is nowhere else to go. And you need to build another pyramid, And then could you even say that this entirely new structure, in this case, it'd be phase 4 and onward with the MCU, is it even connected to the previous one? Why should we care about the previous one? Why should we care about the newer one? So this kind of mentality in building a cinematic universe is really to the downfall of the MCU, because they kind of either they built themselves up to a pinnacle, or they, I guess you could say, they dug a hole that's hard to get out of. And that's how I see it. But then when you see the DCEU, and you have all these crossovers, this multiverse of characters that they could draw from for these live action endeavors, like from the CW, like from the DCEU, like from solo spin-off movies like Joker. There's like almost unlimited potential. And at least what I'm going to say, my fixes aim to change that for the MCU, to make the MCU a little more open, a little more, getting out there into the vast cosmos of their mythology, and having more opportunity for exploration in the future. So that gets that up. So the first thing I want to address is this picture. When you see this picture, you think, oh, well, of course, it's the first Doctor Strange movie, which is awesome. And I do like it. I really do like the magical elements and the very crisp visuals, kind of like, I guess you could say, psychedelic visuals, which is an interesting thing. And this ties into my fix for Infinity War, which I will put up that right there. So I think the key to fixing Infinity War, because of this one flaw in Infinity War, is encapsulated in this picture. I guess you could say, the multiverse psychedelic trip of Doctor Strange. Now, I heard there were writers and the directors planning on actually incorporating this kind of imagery and vision into Infinity War, because that happened to Doctor Strange in his movie, and now in Infinity War, Doctor Strange would do it to Thanos. I guess utilizing the Mind Stone along with his innate magical powers to blast Thanos into the universe, utilizing the Time Stone, seeing the consequences of his action unfold before his eyes, and seeing, I guess, what kind of a monster he is. Like, why, I guess, kind of trying to persuade Thanos to not do what he did. But because Thanos is so determined in his endeavors, that he won't. And funny thing, yes, I have a green screen. I did put Titan as a background. That's also related. Because of what I'm talking about right now. So yeah, let me switch over to this. So first Infinity War flaw is Thanos. How should I word this? Thanos. Well, firstly, Thanos's backstory could have been fleshed more. And the reason I say this is because without that little inkling of extra backstory, going to something like the Eternals, which Thanos is, he's an Eternal, but he's a mutant. Without that, I guess you could say, explicit reference within Infinity War, it detaches so much of the audience in the Eternals. Like, the Eternals has been announced for, I guess, over a year now, at the time of this recording, and literally there's no hype for it, the common audience doesn't know what an Eternal is, and the only way you find out is by watching, YouTube videos of breakdowns with, someone talking about the wider comic book history of the Eternals and what Thanos is, and yeah, so Thanos' backstory could be fleshed out a bit more, precisely when he's talking to Doctor Strange on Titan, like in my background, and it could be a one-off line of Thanos speaking about how he, as one of the Eternals, he was cast out, seen as an abomination because he was a mutant, born to a race of like basically angelic pure beings. So making Thanos distinct from his race on Titan, in which he lived, could have done a great service to this. So that's the first thing. The second thing is Thanos and his quest is a cosmic level threat and is never addressed by cosmic beings. So that's the next thing. Thanos literally is going to kill half of all sentient life within the universe utilizing the Infinity Stones. And we know that there are cosmic beings within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We know there's infinity. We know there's eternity. You could see him in the Temple of the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy. So acting like Endgame didn't happen yet, we know that they exist from Guardians of the Galaxy. As well as Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because there's Ego. He's a celestial. He knows about cosmic beings. When he opens Peter's, I guess you say, cosmic celestial eye, Peter has like space in his eyes, and he says, "What do you see?" He's like, "Oh, I see eternity," which can be the cosmic being of eternity within this Marvel Cinematic Universe. So his quest is literally threatening the entire universe, at least the entire life within the universe, and it's never addressed. Only addressed by what you could say are basically just, I don't know what's a good word. They're such low-level creatures compared to something like Ego, which was already introduced. You don't have an Ego, a living planet. You don't have a literal, I guess you could say, god, because Thor is not really. He is based off of a Norse god, but he's just, I guess you could say, a highly powerful alien. I'm telling you, a celestial-like being. They're not addressing this problem, which they should. So, that really wraps up the flaws. Infinity War is a very nice movie. I do like how they do it, kind of like Empire Strikes Back. The villain wins at the end of the movie, which is very nice. So, I will type Infinity War fixes. So, yes, Thanos elucidates on Eternal and Mutant history of him, possibly of him almost lying to his mother, because his mother tried to kill Thanos in the comics, and just fix that. and his, I guess you could say, his first realization of his mission. We do know that the first realization of his mission was on. It did occur with Titan because he was the first one to propose the, killing half of the population. But maybe a flashback or, a little piece of history that would firmly solidify that in the casual viewer's eyes, as well as the fans' eyes. And the second one, that addresses the first point. The second point is Thanos should undergo a time / I guess you say multiverse. I'll just say magical vision. Doctor Strange. I have no idea why they took that idea out. That idea was genius. Should undergo a magical time magical. Not magically. These are nouns. Adjectives. These are adjectives. Magically is an adverb. Then should undergo a time / magical vision by Doctor Strange, where he sees his future. Yes. So let me get to that. It's my dog. So let me go back to the slideshow. So we have the future look into Thanos's quest. He ultimately finishes his quest. Give me one moment. Okay, I'm back. Let me just check to make sure my audio is still working. Yes, it's working. Now, this is so exciting. Actually being able to stream and talk about this stuff. So, the multiverse trip. Thanos will undergo a multiverse trip just like Doctor Strange did in his original movie. But instead of going to different realms, like what Doctor Strange did with the Dark Dimension, like with what Doctor Strange did with the Quantum Realm, he will go into the future and see what will happen to him. And he sees this. Yes, he sees a cosmic level being addressing his actions. So this does take from the comic in which Adam Warlock defeats Thanos and makes and gives himself up to the Living Tribunal and all these other cosmic beings. And he's put on trial to see what his actions were, if they were just. So Doctor Strange would project Thanos' mind into the future after he completed his mission to see how will he be judged. And Doctor Strange goes into it believing that he will be judged wrongly, that he is wrong and what he's doing only leads to chaos. So I guess it's kind of like a tease to Endgame where Thanos could see Earth in shambles, people crying and mourning, the big memorials, like in San Francisco with Ant-Man when he sees his own name. It doesn't need to show Ant-Man in the vision, but just the Earth is doing worse than it did before the snap. So Thanos is projected into the future. He's on trial, so he's sitting in, I guess you could say, literally unconstructed reality. He's sitting in the middle of a void, and all into the distance, taller than suns and taller than planets, you see the Living Tribunal there in his seat, or he could be standing up. I think he's a judge, so he'd be sitting down, and he just screen pan the camera pans around Thanos, and you see all of these cosmic beings. It could be blurry because we're not casting anyone yet. It could be very ambiguous to who is at the trial of Thanos, like with Adam Warlock. It's not ambiguous in that, but for, I guess you say, for film's sake, it can be ambiguous. A little fly. Whoop. Is that a mosquito? That's a mosquito. I had trouble with them a lot of them. So yeah, it can be ambiguous. You could have somebody that looks like they're made out of space, which is eternity. He's made of space and planets. He's literally, it's like looking through a portal into space, but it's like human-like silhouette. You could see someone clad in purple in the back with a big helmet. That's Galactus. Very blurry. You can't see him. You just know figure over there in purple armor. You see, like you see a big face that looks like, it's made out of a tree. You see Infinity, which is like a woman just covered in gold and stuff like that. And the only one that you do see clearly, which has the full attention of Thanos because he's looking right at it while everybody else is to the sides, is the Living Tribunal, who was addressed in Doctor Strange. The Living Tribunal does exist within this universe. Because there's the staff of the Living Tribunal used by that one guy. He's not Wong. He's Mordo. Yes, Mordo. I think it was Mordo. So the Living Tribunal sits in his chair, looking out at Thanos, who is on this platform, I guess, and he just bends over and just looks him dead in the eye. Like basically, his whole face, just encapsulating basically the entire screen. And Doctor Strange in this vision is right beside Thanos, looking, because this is Doctor Strange's first time seeing this outcome, this projection into the future, seeing this for the first time. And the Living Tribunal just has two words. You don't even need to employ a voice act, like a special voice actor, a famous voice actor for this. And Living Tribunal just looks at the camera, looks at Thanos, and says, "Not guilty." And that's it. The vision starts fading out, starts fizzling away. Thanos, big grin on his face, saying, even more emboldened to do what he does, because even the cosmic beings within the universe believe what he does is perfectly fine, because what he does maintains balance within the universe. And the universe has been getting very hectic lately with the killing of Ego, with the destroying of Asgard, the releasing of Surtur, the releasing of Hela. The universe is in a tough spot. And Thanos, at least to the cosmic being's eyes, and good for narrative, is the redeemer. He's the savior because he puts balance to everything. And that's what these beings are, these cosmic beings like the Living Tribunal. They're literally just neutral beings that all they care about is the cycle of life, the cycle of the universe, the balance of the universe. And that would be just so good for the story, at least in my opinion. So let me go back to this. So yes, Thanos undergoes magical vision by Doctor Strange to see his future. He is put on trial. With the Living Tribunal as judge. And cosmic and other cosmic entities as jury. Thanos is declared not guilty. And Thanos is emboldened. Doctor Strange is terrified because that's not what he expected. He literally didn't expect it. He thought that even if they failed, the cosmic beings will restore everything because they are above the Infinity Stones. And if Thanos were to wipe everything away, the cosmic beings could come back and be like, nah, that was wrong. Let's fix everything. But they won't because he's not guilty. And that fixes most of my gripes with Infinity War. I don't know what exactly what else would constitute fixing. Infinity War and Endgame are so closely tied together that it's really hard to, because if you change something in Infinity War, it's going to have lasting consequences into Endgame. But I believe that's the main thing I wanted to talk about with Infinity War because the movie was good. It was really good. I'm just thinking. Final battle was good. Thor failed. That was fine. No, I don't really have any other gripes with Infinity War. I do wish Nebula had a bigger part to play because she is a major part of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. I did find it kind of stupid that that everything was damaged because Star-Lord had to punch Thanos in the face and have Mantis let go of her grasp, and then Thanos was out of it. Nope. That's it. All right. Let's move on to. Let me just check something real quick. Yep. Let's move on to Endgame. So we have Endgame Flaws. Oh, and let me just put extend on this first point. Backstory could be fleshed out more as to expand the universe for more film opportunities. That's what these are for. These are for more making more films. Opportunities. I believe it says spell opportunities, right? This is gonna kill me if I don't know how to spell opportunities. Opportunity. Or not. Ooh. There we go. Play. Yep, that's how you spell it. Ah, it looks so weird. Apport. Anyway. Now to Endgame. So, Endgame flaws. Now I'm just get the biggest one, the biggest flaw, right out the bat. Time travel made no sense, even with the explanation they gave. I know it's a different kind of time travel. I know this is not Back to the Future. This is not Terminator or anything like that. But even in their own movie, they contradict themselves so many times. So, we shall put up this. So we finished that. Now we're on to here. So, time travel was a key part in Avengers Endgame. And I guess you could say not only time travel is a cop-out in most films, because you could just fix the past and then everything's fine. There's no repercussions. But it's been done so many times that there needs to be, I guess, some internal consistency. Because if you break that consistency and logic with time travel, you end up alienating your audience and, like I said, contradicting yourself at many turns. So the whole trip with the time heist was to, as they say, have separate teams go back in time to gather the Infinity Stones to then go back to the present and utilize the Infinity Stones to reverse everything. Okay. So, using the explanation that the Ancient One gives, she says that time, the flow of time, is maintained by the Infinity Stones. And she explained it to Hulk, and she said to the Hulk, if you take out Infinity Stones from this time and put it to this time, you will ruin the flow of time, creating chaos in this, I guess you could say, alternate timeline. And Banner's solution was to return the stones to the exact time they took it from, which is, I guess, in theory, it could work well. But the thing is, 3 weeks, I guess 5 years and 3 weeks, or I guess you say 3 weeks after Infinity War. Sorry, I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to confuse myself. 3 weeks after Infinity War, Thanos used the stones to destroy the stones within the main timeline. Meaning that the flow of time within that timeline is all out of whack. Literally, reality should be crumbling upon itself. Reality should be fizzling out of existence because there's no time stone, no reality stone to keep it in place. Really, no time, no nothing. So I don't know how the universe is still standing in Endgame. How? The universe should literally be collapsing on itself. And now I'm thinking, because I just thought of this right now when I started to speak about this. I guess you could say that all this time travel shenanigans within Endgame is justified because the Infinity Stones in their parent timeline, in the original timeline, are destroyed. So the flow of time is all over the place, just like the Ancient One said within the main timeline, that these contradictory and illogical pathways that they have within the story actually fit perfectly. You know, So, um, yeah, I guess that's how they would fix that. But I guess that's how they justify that. But no, I I don't think that's right, and I think it is at least to me, which I'm a very cerebral viewer. I need to like, um, God, I need to mute Discord. I'm a very cerebral viewer. I pick out all the little minuscule things. I guess you could say nitpicking. Um, oop, I just skipped ahead. That again. I'll get to those in a second. That's a little teaser for you. Um, so I guess you say it's nitpicking. In the end, these are just movies. These are just pixels on a screen. But it's much more. It's much more than that. So that's why I feel the need to talk about it. I'm not trying to just talk about hot air. These are things that people watch, people dedicate time to. People are entertained by it, and I think it should be better. So, yeah. So yeah, time travel is very messed up. The universe literally should have collapsed on itself in 2023 because all the Infinity Stones were gone. So, not only that, but when you go back in time, and this is how it should work, because it makes the most logical sense. It really does. It's literally the Back to the Future method of time travel. First off, when you go back in time and you alter something within your present timeline, and this happens in each one of the peoples, in each one of the teams that go into different times. The people on Asgard, Rocket and Thor, they alter the timeline because one, they talk to Thor's mother. They take the reality stone from Jane Foster. If they go in time, forward in time, then they are in a universe then they should be in a universe where there hasn't been a reality stone for a few years, and mayhem would occur. It's a completely different universe. So that's kind of the Back to the Future way of looking at it. You alter something in the past, the future is changed. And what they try to do is they try to skedaddle around it, saying you can't change the future by changing the past because your former present cannot be changed by your new future. Now, I understand that you experience something in the present, and because you're traveling back forward into time from the past, oh my God, I'm confusing myself when I'm saying this. What I'm trying to say is returning to their native timeline should not work. It shouldn't. Because the timeline which they reside in has been altered. Same thing goes with New York. Loki took the Tesseract and transported out to God knows where. I guess we'll see in the Loki show. He transported somewhere, and now the events of that timeline have changed. Loki's gone, Tesseract is gone. That means that also the Scepter's gone. Oh my God, I didn't even think of the Scepter. The Scepter's gone. So everything that happens within Age of Ultron can't happen. Vision can't be made. None of that can happen. So the time is a straight line, just like the ancient ones. Time is a straight line. You remove an Infinity Stone, boop, the timeline splits. So I guess maybe they just didn't explain the time heist correctly. It's not really a time heist. If they're traveling into the past, I have a viewer. I have a viewer. That's my first viewer, guys. I'm I'm kind of nervous. Now I have a viewer now. Hi there. Yes, you are my first viewer. You are my very first viewer. Do you like stuff about um the MCU and superheroes and stuff like that? I'm just giving my own opinion. I'm just talking here about what I think could be fixed in Infinity War and Endgame. I think they're great films, and there's no disrespect to any of the creators, but I think it'd be better. Full disclosure: I've been into low stream copy pasta memes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do like the MCU. I don't know what copy pasta is. Also, Samer. Oh, hey. Well, thank you for being here, and people on YouTube, because I'm also streaming this on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you for the example. People on YouTube. I'm also streaming on Twitch, so I do have Twitch people here giving their own feedback and nice little copy pastas and stuff like that. If you want to stay around, you can. And if you don't, I don't blame you. Who would win in a fight? Doctor Strange of the Flash? Doctor Strange is a human with magical abilities. Flash is a metahuman, and he is different. I didn't say who would win yet. I was gonna say the Flash. The Flash wins because Doctor Strange could only react to stuff at human levels, at human reaction speeds. So he reacts like any other human. So by the time they're in a fight, by the time you hear the bell ring, the Flash comes in, snaps Doctor Strange's neck before Doctor Strange could even blink. So yeah. Wrong, Black Bear. I do love that Office reference. What if the floor was icy? He would slip. Well, with the Speed Force, there is. Do you upload this to YouTube? Yeah, it's streaming on YouTube right now. I could actually show your thing right here. Did you stream this to YouTube? Yes, I did. If the floor was icy, the Flash probably wouldn't have a problem with that because the Speed Force gives him all sorts of abilities. Some of it being anti-friction abilities. That's how he could still run on the floor while going at super like lightning speeds. Even light speed. So, yeah. So I'm gonna continue with Endgame. I was talking about how the time travel within Endgame is fully very contradictory. What if he had Ligma? If he had Ligma, then he really is in a pretty predicament. So yeah, he'd probably lose then because Doctor Strange should be like, got him. So yeah. So yes. So bottom line was what I was trying to say with Avengers Endgame's time travel is that because of this weird complex yeah, with this weird complex explanation that Hulk gave as well as Nebula within the movie about how time travel works, it's not really time travel that they're describing. They're describing I guess you could say multiversal travel. They're traveling to different multiverses within the wider MCU. Sorry. And they are getting the stones from those things, and then they're traveling back to their original dimension, the original universe, to utilize the stones. It's not time travel because fundamentally, if you mess with time and you travel into the future, you're just traveling on that one singular strand of time. You are going to be in a different timeline. And that's the only way it makes sense. It either makes sense like that, like in Back to the Future, or like in, I guess you could say Terminator, where time is kind of like a cycle, where the same thing, the past influences the future, and like someone from the future, like with John Connor or the Terminators, go into the past, and the cycle just keeps on looping and looping and looping. And of course, Terminator has its own problems. Terminator has a paradox, like how can Kyle Reese be John Connor's father if John Connor sent him from the future into the past to impregnate his mother? But yeah, so so it's multi-dimensional travel, and they did not say that. They said it was time travel, which is bad. One thing I always found weird about the time travel in Endgame is that they didn't take into account whether or not anyone has really been far, even as decide even go want to do look more like. I don't know what you mean by that, but there was a lot of things that they could have done to make things better. Like they could have literally, if they had Captain Marvel, who overpowered Thanos with the full Infinity Gauntlet at the end of Endgame, and they had Captain Marvel put Thanos easily in a chokehold before he even knew it, because his and I'm talking about in the beginning of the movie when Thanos' whole left arm was like burnt to a crisp. They could have just time traveled, 5 years ago into, when after he snapped, and literally just went up to Thanos, cut his arm off, pulled the gauntlet off of him, put it on, go to the future, put it on the Hulk, and then do that, and snap that way. You get all the stones in one swoop, and you don't have to worry about 2014 Thanos traveling to the future and wrecking house. So there were many more time travel opportunities that they could have utilized to greater effect. But of course, then, it really does make you think. But of course, it's a movie. They want to have, a beginning, middle, and end. They want to have people. So, I could understand why they didn't do that per se. So I will go back to my other screen. So time travel didn't make sense with the explanation. Contradicts itself at many points. The thing is that there's so many powers available. Do you think they could ever make a time travel movie without plot holes? It's hard. I think I haven't watched Harry Potter, but Harry Potter, I think, did it the most effectively, because I think it was that, like, future Harry went to the past to tell himself or to warn himself of something, because you could essentially justify anything with comic book as lore, right? I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I'm like also I'm not solely going on the comic books with these fixes. Like, oh yeah, because you guys weren't here, I actually went to Infinity War and I talked about how Infinity War had less problems than Endgame, but still, two flaws that I think could have been like elucidated on a tiny bit. Which is, having Thanos' backstory be fleshed out a little more, and for more filming opportunities, like with the Eternals. Like the Eternals is coming out next year or the next 2 years, and literally there's no hype being built for it. Nobody knows about the Eternals unless you're a diehard comic book fan or you watched a video about it. Yeah. Nobody knows about the Eternals. So Thanos' backstory with how he's an Eternal, with how he's actually a mutant within the Eternal race, and how his mother tried to kill him and he was an abomination, he was cast out, and that's why they rejected his idea. They didn't take him seriously. They thought he was a madman. Yes, they did. So that was That's right. But yeah, we didn't know why he was mad at him. We didn't know why his people didn't believe him, because Thanos seems like a very intelligent guy. He seems like, top of his race, top of his people, like, why didn't his people take him seriously? So, and then the second thing for Infinity War was that Thanos and his quest to get the gauntlet and all its stones and wipe out half of the universe is such an immense cosmic level threat. He's literally going to wipe out half of all life on the universe, and not a single cosmic entity, not a single god within the Marvel Cinematic Universe cares. They're not addressing it. They're not nothing. They're not doing anything. So they should do something. Literally, like, this is like Thanos is literally going to change so much. So that change, I changed that by saying that Thanos would go into a magical vision by Doctor Strange, like when Doctor Strange. Let me just share the screen again. Like when Doctor Strange experienced the time trip back in his original movie. So Doctor Strange would touch the forehead of Thanos, and Thanos would be rocketed into the future, just like Doctor Strange is right here. And he would be on trial in front of the Living Tribunal, which is basically the judge of the multiverse. He's like, he literally judges and watches all the multiverse. And similar to how Adam Warlock in the comics was put on trial after the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, Thanos is put on trial. And let me pull back up this. And yeah, so he's put on trial with the Living Tribunal as the judge, and other cosmic entities like Eternity, like Infinity, like all these other big concepts as the jury. And Thanos is declared not guilty because, if you know, in the past movies, Hela was running rampant in Asgard. Surtur destroyed Asgard, which is, at the Asgardians, Thor, Odin, they watch over the 9 realms to make sure there's not chaos. There's chaos there. Ego, the living planet from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he's killed. He was a big part of the universe. There's more chaos there. And yeah, and now Thanos is on his quest. And that's why I think the cosmic entities won't see him as guilty, because they see Thanos and he's like, oh wow, he's trying his best. He's a very capable person, and he is restoring balance to the universe because it got so out of hand in these past movies, and now he's putting it into his own hands. That's good. And yeah, and Doctor Strange is terrified. That's the first time Doctor Strange has seen that vision, and Doctor Strange he was surprised, and Thanos is emboldened, and the movie goes on just like how Infinity War actually ended. Okay, so we got time travel out of the way. So yeah, time travel could only work well with with something like Terminator or like Back to the Future. The past affects the future, because if you alter the past in some way, you go into the future, that change remains. So we got that. Bingo, there he is. The Hulk was utterly just ripped to shreds. His character, his story arc was horrible in Endgame. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Mark Ruffalo. I like Professor Hulk. I don't know why they called him Smart Hulk. It's not Smart Hulk. It's not like the Hulk was dumb and he became smart. Man, I gotta go, but I followed you. I've seen your channel on YouTube, and I'll give it a watch. Keep it up. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much, man. This is my first time, and I'm just trying my best. But thank you. Check this out later on if you want. Peace. Take care. So, the Hulk was completely butchered within this movie. Um, like I said, I don't like how they called him Smart Hulk. It's not like, you know, that was his only defining factor. Professor Hulk, I think, is his definitive name because it's the merging of the two personalities, and being a professor um, is one of the key things that Banner has going for him. So it's you don't say Smart Banner, you don't say Smart, but you say Professor Banner, or Doctor Banner or whatnot. So I prefer them to change that name. Uh, yeah, the Smart Hulk wasn't the problem. The problem is that they have been building up this character for 2 movies now, Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok, and they've been building this arc that the Hulk wants to be his own person. In Ragnarok, he was his own person on Sakaar, and he loved it there. He was a champion. Everybody loved him. They were shouting his names in the Colosseum. They were making parades about him. They loved the Hulk. And he's riding high when he reunites with his friend Thor and, takes care of the Asgardians and is on that ship. Infinity War rolls around. Wow, this is hell on your voice speaking for an hour. Infinity War rolls around, and the Hulk is in the ship, and he gets his butt handed to him by Thanos. Thanos didn't have to use anything. He just saw the Hulk. The Hulk tried to choke him out. The Hulk tried to defeat him, and Thanos was just like, "Doop, chop to your neck, little punches here, right in your kidney, right in your face." Slammed him down. The Hulk was done. He was taken care of, like this, like in an instant. So, as we've seen in Infinity War, the Hulk's ego was severely bruised. Is there a YouTube? Sorry, I just wanted to see something. If there was a YouTube viewer, I think I'm displaying. Yeah, I'm displaying all comments, so there is no viewer from YouTube. Just want to make sure if there's a viewer from YouTube, I want to, keep up with your comments. I don't want to leave you out. So he's defeated in Infinity War, and the Hulk, he is basically scared. He couldn't defeat Thanos at such a crucial time when all the Asgardians were dying. Heimdall died. All the Asgardians died. And Thor was, being tortured by Ebony Maw. Being held with, his binds. And that's why Hulk was like just refusing to come out when the time was right in the Battle of Wakanda, in the battle in New York, when Ebony Maw was trying to take Doctor Strange's time stone. That makes sense. You have the rise of the Hulk. He is riding high in Ragnarok. He's with his friends, and he's his own person. You have the fall of the Hulk. He is demeaned. He's degraded. He feels ashamed and like he can't do anything in Infinity War. And what do you have in Endgame? You have, boop, Professor Hulk right there. Boom. No explanation. No scene. No nothing. Professor Hulk, boom, right there. Oh yeah, Banner and Hulk, they're cool now. I'm cool. I'm just sitting eating pancakes and sausages at a restaurant. I'm taking selfies and I'm dabbing. That's the Hulk. That's the Hulk now. That rage monster, that monster that could stand up against gods and punch a literal fire giant in the face. I'm eating pancakes now. I have glasses. I'm wearing shirts now. No, that's not the Hulk. Not yet, at least. It could be the Hulk, but not yet. We didn't deserve that yet. We didn't build up to that. So so that's a big problem. And not only does he do the most important thing of reverse snapping and bringing everybody back to life, but he's permanently incapacitated. He has a withered arm that is never going to heal, as the writers say. And he barely does anything in the fight, in the final fight in Endgame. You see Ant-Man punching a Leviathan, like Giant Man, like the Leviathan hurling into the ground. You see all the women of Marvel, shooting lasers at Thanos, and Captain Marvel bursting through the army. What's Hulk doing? This character that we've been living with for 10 years, that we love so much, what is he doing? We need to get the stones back where they came from. That's it. That's all he says. He's a Rose guy. That's it. So, the character arc for Hulk is thrown completely out of whack after Infinity War. He does nothing in the final battle. He doesn't have his rematch with Thanos because the Hulk is angry. He got his butt whooped in the beginning of Infinity War. He was so scared he didn't even want to come out of the battle. So we got to fix that. And here is another issue. Captain Marvel with the Infinity Gauntlet. Captain Marvel's not the issue. I know plenty of people don't like Brie Larson. Plenty of people don't like the Infinity, Captain Marvel, the character. They think she's bland and whatnot. I watched most of the Captain Marvel movie. It was all right. I think Brie Larson's a fine person. She's not, the worst person in the world. I do like her, and I did see she has a YouTube. Good on her. It's very nice. But what is she doing as a character in the narrative in this scene? She has the Infinity Gauntlet fully decked out, and she's charging headfirst to the time van, the quantum van that Ant-Man and the Wasp just powered up. Why? Because they need to return the stones back where they came from, just like the Hulk said. When Captain America, before that, he said, get those stones as far away as possible. So, the thing is, we know what happened when we used the quantum van for time travel. And we know what happened when you went to time travel without a time-space GPS that Tony Stark made. It's what happened to Ant-Man. Ant-Man went in the quantum van. They were going to send him back, a year or something, and he was just going to walk around for an hour, just like the Hulk said, and be back, all fine and dandy. And what happened? Ant-Man turned into a baby. So I don't know how, but he turned into a baby, and then he turned into an old man. And that's when Bruce Banner was punching in the numbers. He was punching in the numbers and making sure he was going to the right place, somewhat. And Bruce Banner is like the third smartest person in the MCU, right behind Shuri and Iron Man. He's like the third smartest person. And even then, there was a problem with the van, and the time traveler became a baby, became an old man. It didn't work. And now we have an Infinity Gauntlet that goes with stones from 3 different timelines: 2012, 2014, and 2013. 3 different times. And she doesn't have a time suit as well. Her going to the time van and bringing that literally made no sense and gave Thanos the advantage because the Infinity Gauntlet was in the area. Then again, I know it's a movie. It doesn't make it doesn't make for good show. It doesn't make for good entertainment. But like I said, I'm a very logical person, and these logical things, if they're not worked out right, then I'm kind of disconnected from the movie. So she would have popped out a baby on the other side. She could have been stuck in the quantum realm. And you know what? I'll excuse her not having a time suit, because let's say if she has a time suit, she doesn't need one. She's powered by the space stone. She got her powers from the space stone. Let's say her body could withstand the quantum realm. She's a super powered being. She's a very powerful being. She doesn't need a time suit. She does need a time space GPS. She doesn't have that. You have a person with a master's in engineering, Ant-Man and the Wasp, who are very smart, but not time travel smart. Not Bruce Banner, not Tony Stark smart. Powering up this van, she would have gone nowhere. It doesn't make sense. You left the gauntlet close to the battlefield. Thanos got the gauntlet, and we saw what happened. And now Tony Stark is dead because of it. And it could have been avoided. So that made no sense. What I think would have made more sense is if they went with Cap's plan all along, and they tried to take the Infinity Gauntlet as far away as possible until they can build another time machine, just like they did at the end of the movie when they were returning the stones. They had like a miniaturized time machine, different from the other one. Ooh, my God, I didn't drink water in a long time. So yeah, they should have got as far away as possible, and then, Ebony Maw, he has levitation powers, or Corvus Glaive, or Thanos, would somehow bring the person back from either, like if it was Captain Marvel, she could fly to space, bring her back from space. Captain Marvel, boom, trying to fly into another continent, bring her back from there. Stop her from doing that. So that didn't make sense. And that's all I'll talk about. I'll talk about with that one. It's pretty self-explanatory. She didn't have a time-space GPS. There was no reason she'd be going to the van, and she put everybody at risk for doing that. Now, this goes to my fix. So, let me go back to my notes. So, Hulk's story arc was... Ooh, I just opened up a new tab for no reason. Hulk's story arc was just completely disregarded for some reason after Infinity War. We see the end of his arc, the end being him reconciling and becoming Smart Hulk, the two people becoming one. We see the end of his arc at the beginning of the movie with no explanation. So we need to fix that. And he doesn't do much in the final battle. Okay, so now, oh yeah, and also Captain Marvel didn't need to fly to the quantum and put everyone in danger because of it. All right. And yeah, I think that's the majority of my Endgame flaws that I believe in. Now we go to Endgame fixes. So, yeah, that slide is only I only have the slide for the Hulk. I know I made such pretty slides, but I didn't make slides for Time Travel or Captain Marvel. So, with time travel, no, time travel logic needs to be consistent. Um, yeah, going and changing the past affects that timeline and subsequently traveling to the future means you travel. Let's say means you ride that timeline to where it leads. Different. And the main one. Yeah. AKA Back to the Future. If this is wrong, and this is for anybody that takes Russo's explanation, it should then be considered multiversal or parallel universe travel, since you aren't affecting your timeline. Oh, also, yeah, yeah, I forgot this. Thanos destroyed the stones in the original timeline. The Ancient One said the stones were essential for keeping the flow of time, and when removed, the original universe should collapsing in on itself. Yep. Yep, that's oh god, I didn't you know what I didn't even change my background because I do have a green screen, as you see. And I actually have a nice little background that goes along with it. Which I'm trying to yes, green screen. Boom, change the green screen. Now it's Endgame. We're in the Endgame background. We're in the Endgame now. Yeah. So the universe should literally be collapsing in on itself. I don't know why it's not. Yeah, and let's just get the Captain Marvel one out of the way, because the Hulk one is really the juicy part that takes up the most time. Marvel shouldn't go to the van. Simply, she didn't have a time space GPS, and the van has been proven to fail like with Scott in the beginning. I can't spell. In the beginning, when he turned into a baby. Now let's fix the Hulk. Let's get to the good part. So the Hulk was bad, but we can make him better. This is what I think they should have done. With all of the failings of the Hulk within Infinity War, him just refusing to get out, and rage out at the most, at the best time, like when, Ebony Maw and Corvus Glaive, not Corvus Glaive, Cull Obsidian, were attacking New York. Like when they were attacking, the Hulk didn't come out. Like when they were attacking Wakanda, the Hulk didn't come out. He needed to come out. He really did. He would have been a very useful asset. So, Banner thinks to himself, damn it, Hulk, you failed me once again. You are literally a burden to me. And he, in a way, bashes the Hulk like that. And that gets the Hulk angry. But before the Hulk does anything, Banner and Tony make a suit, kind of like nanotech. Be a very nice nanotech suit that Banner would wear. Just like this. And it would suppress the gamma radiation within him. The gamma, energy that actually brings the Hulk to life. So you would have that Hulk just pushed down and down and deeper into the psyche of Bruce Banner. Kind of like, and I just thought of this right now. See, like I just think about this right now. Kind of like not A Quiet Place. Kind of like Get Out. The Hulk is in the sunken place. He can't do anything. He just views everything, and it just gets him angry and angry and angry. So yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like Get Out. He's in the sunken place, and he's just residing in the depths of Bruce Banner's mind for these 5 years, 5 long, grueling years. Hulk just is a passenger. The time heist goes down similarly. Preferably, I would like the time heist to be a little more action packed because they didn't introduce the villain. Like they have the villain Thanos from 2014 travel to the future to make the problem. So you have, and like they didn't organically have him. There was no stakes. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no stakes in the time heist. It was like nothing wrong could happen except for, of course, them not being able to get the stone, and it goes somewhere else. So there was no villain that was chasing after them. What I would have preferred is that Thanos. Oh yeah, oh my god. There's another error, bro. There's another one. Nebula could have went into the future, could have transported into the future before she was captured. See, you think of this stuff on the spot because there were so many of them. Nebula, and this was addressed in how it should have ended. Nebula has the suit and the time-space GPS, and just like what Rhodey did, you just press it, beep beep, and then boop, you go. You don't need to be synced up. You don't need to be nothing like that. That was just something that threw in. They never mentioned anything about syncing up your jump back to the future. Your jump into the main timeline. So while the ship was being levitated up from oh my god, I thought of another thing. While the ship was being levitated up with Nebula inside of it, Nebula could have just beep beep back to the future. Thanos couldn't do anything about it. Now here's the thing. Look, this is what I just thought of right now. You have to catch these things live. Thanos could have been like, damn, Nebula escaped, the past Nebula escape. I can't get that time stuff that she has. What am I gonna do? How do I fix it? How does she fix it? How does Thanos? Thanos is not a she. How does Thanos fix it? He goes to Vormir, where Clint and Black Widow, where Hawkeye and Black Widow are. Hawkeye gets the Soul Stone. He meets Thanos. He's scared. He's able to teleport back in time. But Thanos knows. He goes to the altar where Vormir. He sees Red Hood, or not Red Hood. DC. I love DC. He sees. Why can't I remember? Oh my god! Why can't I remember the Captain America villain? Let me see. Red Skull. I can't believe I forgot that. He sees Red Skull. He asks him, and Red Skull explains to him that the stone is gone. He gave up something he loved. And he got the stone, and now he's gone. He had to give up something. A soul for a soul. You don't say he gave up a living being. He traveled through time, and he gave up a living being. He loved something, and he gave it up. Well, he must love something from the future. How can he be in the past, get something he loves, and sacrifice that? He goes to Black Widow's dead body. Thanos goes to Black Widow's dead body. He gets the time GPS. He gets the pin particle. He gets the spacesuit. That's how they do it. That makes sense. No problems in continuity. Nope. No logical errors. No foolish behavior on behalf of, Nebula. Nebula doesn't act a fool because Nebula's not a fool. Nebula is smart. She's out of there. She's gone. Who's left? Black Widow. What does she have? A time GPS. What does she have? Pin particles. That's how they do it. That was a fix that I just came up with right now. Anyway. Whoa. Geez, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that. I didn't expect to think of that. So yeah, the Hulk. The Hulk is suppressed by Bruce Banner by wearing this containment suit. He wears a containment suit made out of nanobots, and it just depowers him. Depowers the Hulk. The Hulk can't come out when the suit's on. It's late. It's really late here. Wow. But I just had to stream this. This is my first stream. I just had to get it over. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. And the Hulk is suppressed. Time travel goes normally. Time heist. Thanos gets the pin particles. He could probably, chase after more people. Make it a little more conflict, a little more climactic, And they go back to the future. They're in the main timeline. They have the stones. And now they put the gauntlet together with all the stones laid out. Someone has to snap their fingers. In this scenario, I would say Thor is still Fat Thor. I don't like Fat Thor necessarily. And you know what I thought the first time I watched Endgame when Thor was grabbing the when Thor was grabbing his hammer and Mjolnir, when he saw Thanos on the battlefield, I thought he was gonna get shredded. His hair was gonna get cut again, and he just the body of a Norse god. But that didn't happen. He was still Fat Thor. But for the sake of this, we still have Fat Thor, so he cannot snap the gauntlet. He's not in the right state of mind. Nobody's powerful enough. Not the aliens, not Nebula, not Rocket, not anybody, not the humans. But there's someone who is powerful enough. The Hulk is a monster who feeds on gamma radiation. The Hulk is not here. Banner is here. Banner has lost a lot. He had a grueling 5 years. And now he lost Natasha. He saw so many people die and the world go into chaos. And he wanted to make the world a better place with his knowledge in the 5 years that they had after Thanos destroyed everything. After Thanos wiped out half the population. Didn't work. Things were still bad. People were still grieving. And now there's a chance to take it back, to not be useless. The Hulk was useless against Thanos, and Banner was useless against the Aftermath. God, I'm literally just thinking of this right now. Thanos was, and Banner, not Thanos, was useless in the Aftermath. But now, Banner has the decision. He has the will. And the Hulk is the key. And Banner says to the Hulk, kind of having like an internal dialogue, have a nice little scene. Probably a scene like the Soul Stone. You see them in like an empty mind consciousness. Banner talking to the Hulk. And he tells the Hulk, I know you're angry at me. I know you're very, very mad. You and I, we've been through so much. And I've rejected you after you couldn't serve my purposes. And I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. You're your own person. And I shut you out. And now, we have a chance to redeem ourselves. We have a chance to make this right. And the Hulk is like, yes, I know Banner. I know Banner. You're right. We can fix this. So, Banner's like, okay, let's do this. He powers off the suit. The Hulk is no longer suppressed. The Hulk could come out. And the Hulk rages forward. Of course, the suit's nanotech, so it expands with him. So he's still wearing the suit, kind of like in this image that I have. And the Hulk rages forward. His like literally power oozing from him because he's so angry. But he's using his anger in a productive way because he's not angry at the world. Well, yeah, he's angry at the situation. He's not angry at the people. He's not going to lash out on his friends. He knows his friends. He knows the people that he was with. He knows the people that treated him well, like Thor. But he's angry. Very, very angry. Because a lot of his friends are dead. Half the universe is dead. He was useless. And now, his Natasha is dead. And he's not going to get his love back. He's not going to get that beauty back. That, kind of like Beauty and the Beast. How Black Widow was able to stop the Hulk like an Age of Ultron. Hey, big guy, sun's getting real low. That's gone. He lost that trust. He lost that warm and comforting person in his life. So, with all the rage that he's built up for 5 years, the Hulk grabs the gauntlet and he makes the snap, and energy surges through him. But instead of dying, or instead of having his arm be severely burned and all crippled up, and he barely uses it and it's not regenerating, he absorbs the energy and he's even more energized. this point, everybody's back alive. Thanos, with the help of Nebula. Well, yes, yeah, we can say Nebula. No, we can't. We actually can't. With the time, with the time-space GPS, they could pull something. They could probably make some cloaking technology, maybe some. Who knows? but we're not going to focus on that part. But anyway, Thanos and his crew, his army, and his ship get rocketed into the future. They're hovering above the Avengers compound and fire into the compound. Everything is destroyed after the snap. So people are back. The heroes get out of the rubble. They survived. They pull up. Thor grabs Mjolnir. He grabs Stormbreaker. And he's with Captain America. He's with Iron Man. And they have their fight. You have that glorious fight like you see in the movie. Thor's about to get, stabbed in the chest with Stormbreaker. Cap wields Mjolnir. Lays a smackdown on Thanos. But Thanos gets the upper hand. Takes them all down. And Thanos sends in his army. What do we have? We have an army too. Doctor Strange opens up portals everywhere. I'm on your left, says Falcon. They all ride in. They make the army. They form the lineup. Avengers assemble. And here we see the Hulk. Raged out. Green. Very, very green. Eyes glowing from the energy. Literally, gamma radiation is basically seeping from his pores like steam. His body's producing so much heat like steam. It steams the air. The water around him. Basically melts the ground beneath him. Fight goes along. Stuff happens. People fight. And Thanos eventually gets the gauntlet. He eventually gets the gauntlet. Of course, Captain Marvel doesn't do her crazy shenanigans. Tries to go to the quantum van even though she can't do it. She shouldn't do it. It would be horrible. But Thanos is smart. And he somehow pries the gauntlet from Captain Marvel. Puts her out of commission. Probably take the gauntlet, put it on real quick. Just quick power stone blast. And now Thanos is about to snap. He has the new gauntlet. 2014 Thanos. He's about to snap. Who comes in? The Hulk. Newly enraged. Glowing. Seeping with gamma radiation. This is not the ordinary Hulk. This is World Breaker Hulk. Just like when Kratos in God of War, when Kratos and Baldur were going at it at the beginning, and they were doing that kind of two-handed power struggle. They're trying to exert their power on one another, and literally the mountainside was cracking and the floor beneath them was seeping together. That's the Hulk. And he comes at Thanos and he grabs the gauntlet. And they tussle. They're fighting. Pew, 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 pew. And now, the same thing that happened in Infinity War is happening in Endgame, but the roles are reversed and the Hulk is wailing. Just wailing on Thanos. Thanos is beaten. He's bloody. His armor is getting mangled up. It's like the Hulk is folding Thanos' clothes with him still inside of it. That's how bad it is. And Thanos is like, I'm gonna use the Power Stone. I'm gonna punch him with the Power Stone. And because it's World Breaker Hulk, and this Power Stone has been shown to destroy planets, the Hulk rivals the Power Stone. He exerts just as much power. Just like when Iron Man and the Hulk collided their fists and there was a big shockwave in Avengers Age of Ultron. So too, it happens today. It happens in Endgame. Another callback, because Endgame's all about callbacks. Why don't we get a callback to that? That was nice. That was nice. Nice angry Hulk that we like. So why don't we call back to that? So, yeah. Hulk and Thanos clash. Power Stone is not working. He could beat the Power Stone? No one can beat the Power Stone. The Guardians of the Galaxy in the first movie was struggling with the Power Stone. But this monster, this beast, he's beating the Power Stone. The Hulk, World Breaker Hulk, and Banner working together. They're not a monster. They're not a beast. They're a goddamn superhero. And they conquer things like the Power Stone. Okay. Thanos is clever, though. And Banner and the Hulk didn't account for this. And they separate, and Thanos separates the personalities. He uses the Power Stone, not the Power Stone, sorry. He uses the Reality Stone, and he uses the Mind Stone. There's a mental split. And now the Hulk and Banner are two separate entities. The Hulk is to the left. He's incapacitated. Banner's to the right. He's incapacitated. They can't do anything. They're knocked out. They're separate. Two different bodies. The Hulk is his own person, and Banner is free of the Hulk. This is what Banner wanted all this time, and now he finally gets it. But does he actually want it? Does he actually want to be free of the Hulk? Or is the Hulk a part of him now? Something to explore in the future. New material to explore in the future. In like, I don't know, She-Hulk? Banner has a cousin. She's in desperate need of a transfusion. Gee, I'm sorry, cousin. I'd love to help you. But the thing is, I'm not super anymore. I'm just plain old Banner. We need the Hulk. And maybe it's a way we could bring him back. And he could be back with me. We'll touch upon that later. So yeah. Personalities are split. And Thanos and the Hulk. The Hulk is done. He's incapacitated. Now Thanos has the gauntlet. And he's about to do his thing. You know. Gonna tear the universe apart. Make it in his own image. Stuff like that. And the movie ends how it started. How it originally ended. With Iron Man getting the stones from him. Thanos snaps, but it doesn't work. Tony has his noble, heroic sacrifice. And Thanos and his army is no more. And Tony dies. A hero. Iron Man. Just like the movie. So let's write this down. I feel like a class at the end of the day. So let's write this down. Yes. Hulk is suppressed. This suit. He builds in anger after 5 years. And Natasha dying. Let's also, before we do anything, before I forget, because I was a genius, Nebula escapes. Thanos gets the time space GPS and Black Widows. Okay. Hulk spreads with the suit. He builds in anger after 5 years and Natasha dying. He snaps. Absorbs energy. Let me just, before you say he snaps, he comes to terms. Jeez, this thing is giving me a little trouble. Comes to terms with himself. And Banner puts his full trust in the Hulk. He snaps, absorbs the energy, and creates World Breaker Hulk, who rivals the Power Stone and is only stopped by Thanos when he uses the Mind and Reality Stone to separate personalities. Look at that. Look at that. Little typo here, since you aren't affecting. Yeah. Yes, sirree. I think that's about it. That's about it. Yeah, I don't really see anything else in this that I'd have a problem with. I could elaborate on these. I did make it really theatrical. I was always like kind of given that little narrator voice explaining everything. But this is what I love to do. This is really my thing. I love Marvel. I love comics. I love film so much, and I love Marvel and DC. I love the DC films too, Batman v Superman, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, not Justice League. And thank God for HBO Max for giving us Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Thank God for that, because that's going to be awesome, especially at DC Fandom when they're going to release all that other stuff, like the new Suicide Squad game coming out, Black Adam with The Rock. That's going to be awesome. But yeah, I love talking about this stuff, and I'd love to make my own movies one day. And I welcome anyone to critique the hell out of me when I make movies, if I make movies. They could really critique the hell out of me if I have some logical errors, because I don't want that. And I'll be hard pressed to not have that. So yeah, let me just do one little scroll through so you all can see this. So yeah, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame Flaws and Fixes. That's Infinity War. This is Endgame. And that's the end of it. Okay. Yeah, so pretty lit. I'm wondering what am I gonna do for my next stream. Hopefully my next stream is gonna be on Friday. Maybe not this late at night, because it was really late. But this was my first stream. I don't have a set schedule yet, but I do think I want to stream on Fridays. That's a nice time. Gives me time to put stuff together during the week. Yeah, I was thinking maybe next week probably have one of my ideas for movies. I'm always into making new movies and stuff. Like a new Superman movie following Justice League, like a Superman solo film. Oh God, I'd love that. Or I don't know. I really don't know. This is my first time. This was a major thing that I had on my mind, and I just wanted to get it off my chest, and that's why I had a lot of things to say about it. I guess yeah, it'd probably be a movie idea, movie script. I do partially have one. Yeah. So yeah, I do see I have one viewer here who, and I haven't said anything for the past almost hour. I don't think that's me viewing it because I don't have another tab, but thank you for being here. I'm always open to having open discussion, bounce back ideas. Like you might have an idea that's golden, like it's probably way better than what I was thinking of. So I'd love to hear it. Maybe I could do this again sometime when I have like more viewers and we could make this even better. So yeah, I don't know who's that one viewer, but thank you very much for sticking around because you've been here since the other people in the chat came, so that was nice. And yeah, I think that pretty much concludes my live stream. Wow, I never thought I'd get to this point. Nice 1 hour 49-minute live stream. Hopefully there's more to come. So thank you very much. And I don't really have a signing off thing. I'll make sure to have a very nice signing off animation as well as catchphrase. Till next time, till the next stream and the next that one Carlos's custom comic chat. Thank you very much. Have a good one.